Welcome back to Terror Takeover, your one-stop shop for all things creepy, horrifying, and disgusting. I'm your host, Crow.
Hi, I'm your host, Charlotte.
Um, Obviously, we're doing something a little different this time. We're actually recording our cameras due to popular
Yes.
demand. I've had so many people ask me, when are you guys going to start videoing yourselves while you do the podcast? And I've been wanting to, um, but we just never got around to it until today.
Yeah.
So also thank you, Charlotte, for being a good sport, because I literally asked you to turn your camera on an hour ago or something. So
I was already dressed, so I had to say yes. If I was in my
perfect.
pajamas, I would have said no. But
Oh my gosh. I'm low key nervous because now I'm fully aware of what we look like the whole time we're talking. And
I
now I'm
know.
aware of how many times I look over at my outline. So let me move that over here so that way I can actually
No, you're good. I keep looking at my mic and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wait, people can see me. Okay. So,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, of course if you're just
oh,
listening on Spotify, you're like, whatever, I don't even know that. But anyway.
yeah.
Also, Zoe had things to do this week, so we kind of did a little swap. Last week Charlotte wasn't here, and now Zoe's not here this week, but she'll be back next week.
Yes. All three of
Um,
us.
all three of us finally back together. So,
Yes.
anyway, how was your week, Char?
It's been a pretty good week. It's been a busy week. It's my chill week after working on call last week. Well, week before last week, and then
Oh,
do it
I
again
didn't
week
realize.
after.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
it's holidays, so I'm just like trooper. I'm not really a big holiday person, so I'm just like, yeah, let me go make some money real quick. Um,
Yeah.
but besides work, I've also just been jamming along with all my little fitness stuff. I went to my yoga class again. Really happy I
Oh,
did.
love it.
I hope that she doesn't listen to this podcast, but it's my yogi's birthday, and I sent her this
Today?
really. No, it was 2 days ago. She's a
Oh, when you
Scorpio.
were at the class, yeah. Oh,
Yes. What a mess. But I sent her a little nice message telling her, thanks for her class, thanks for being in my life as an instructor. And she said, thanks back. So,
oh, that's so sweet.
and she said hi to
Yeah,
me in our class too. So
that's
we'll
awesome.
see.
Yeah.
Something is building. I'm just in
I
my
love that.
social bag right now. I'm really feeling like putting
Yeah.
my foot back out there because there was I took a hiatus from hanging out, being outside for the winter, and
Yeah.
now I'm kind of like, okay, let's see what's out there.
Yeah. You've also
Um,
always been super social, I feel like. Like you've always been the more social one than me, I feel like. And I know you probably do not
Cap,
agree, but I
cap.
100% believe that. I feel like the only time that I I don't know, I feel like the only time that I am social is whenever I have to be kind of thing, or I know that it's necessary, but I don't really I'm coming to terms with the fact that I don't super feel comfortable being social, I guess. I don't know. I feel like the happiest is whenever I'm in my room, in my apartment, but number one in my room, in front of my computer, or on my bed, reading a book or scrolling or something. I feel like anytime
True.
I'm outside of my house, I'm there's a layer of just anxiety that
Help.
doesn't necessarily need to be there. Yeah,
Man.
basically.
Well,
But I feel like
I
you
can
love
see that.
going out, or
I
just
think
going places, basically.
I do, but I guess maybe I have the inverse of what you have. I feel like
Hmm.
I like to be outside in situations, but then I get this horrible anxiety when I'm called on to speak or contribute to the vibe, unless I
Mm,
have a little drinky poo to kind of
yeah.
shut those little thoughts out. Um, but also I feel like it doesn't really come to the surface. I feel like when you socialize, it's very authentic and people just love being
What?
around you and talking to you, or I feel that way. I'm
I'm
super
shocked.
I'm like, oh man, Crow is just bouncing around, being a
Yeah,
star, being amazing. While I
that's
feel like I have to
crazy.
physically force myself to open up, open the shell, talk to this person. Like I
Oh
didn't
my
talk to my
god, that's
coworkers
crazy.
until 2 years of me being at this job. So
Well, that's
it's
crazy
just
that you say that, because I
yeah.
feel honestly, maybe this is creepy, but every time we're out and I see you talking to somebody, it's so entertaining to watch you interact with people, because you look
Aw.
this is gonna sound so what do you call it, neurodivergent, but watching you interact with people
Oh,
looks like you're such a pro at it. You know
I
how to
know.
communicate with people. Okay, this is so weird. I know this is so
Probably.
weird and I'm gonna
It's
sound like a
no.
creep, but whenever I hear you talking to people, and then because I don't really know how to carry a conversation, I'll usually just end it and walk away after I run
Yeah.
out of things to say. But I
Please.
feel like
That's
you know
me.
how to steer the conversation in the right direction. You'll
Really?
literally ask one
Aw.
question, they'll give their piece, and then you'll be like, okay, well, what about this thing that's slightly related to that? You know how to
Aw.
branch off into other conversations. I think that's super cool.
Dude, I swear all that stuff is that's all been learned within the past year from how to be a good social person. Because before I definitely was the person that would quite literally walk away from a conversation as soon as the beginning of a silence started. I would be like,
Oh
all right, well,
god.
gotta go and just
Yeah.
run. But now, yeah, it is really just as simple as a bunch of formulas, a bunch of the same conversation over and over
Yeah.
again. It's just
Formulas.
hard
That's
when it's like off
crazy.
script. Yeah, it's all algorithms, I
Off
guess.
script is crazy. Off
No,
script
it
is so real,
is.
but it's honestly so true.
Please. As soon as someone asks a real question, I'm like,
I didn't rehearse.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh
But
my
this
gosh.
podcast helps a lot too. Having like just
True.
have a conversation and like
Mm-hmm.
watch myself and not edit as much is kind of like, oh, okay, cool. I can like
Yeah.
do this. But
Well, the funny thing is like we have conversations just like all the time, and it's very normal and natural, but it's like it's different when you're doing it for a podcast, and it's not even just that you're being recorded. I think it's just like when you're recording anything, and even whenever I stream sometimes, like it feels like I'm just doing what I would be normally doing. However, there's like somebody just standing in the corner watching me. Like that's how
no,
it feels
yeah.
when we record. Is like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
having a conversation and it's just like what we normally do, but there's someone in the corner watching me right now,
Man, it's just instantly performing. It's
Yeah,
just really bad, life or
exactly.
death.
To be a woman is to perform. No, just to be a
Real.
performer is to perform, really. But
Yeah, to be a
oh, I
human in
want
this
to
day and age.
mention, yeah, absolutely. I want to mention I've been making smoothies.
Okay.
I
Okay.
feel like,
Smoothie.
before I could
Smoothie
never be
bag.
bothered to do things like that
Yes.
just because I hate having to like wash the blender after. But look how cute. First of
Yeah.
all, I've been making mango smoothies and look at my
Oh,
straw.
yummy. Oh
Little
my god.
ghosts. My
So
mom got
cute.
that for me.
I
Super
love
cute.
that. Perfect
Yes.
gift. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Aren't you a smoothie girl?
Yes, I love smoothies, although I don't usually do them in the winter, but I could see a mango smoothie and then adding like cardamom or something to it or like just a spicy
Ooh.
scent. It would be so fire.
She been watching her
Man.
Great British Baking Show. No.
Listen. But also I
That's
love like a
sick.
lassi moment, you know? I don't have the
Oh,
stuff to make
that's
one.
exactly right. Yeah. Well, mango
Yeah.
lassi is basically, oh my God, let me not say that. I'm going to like upset somebody, but is it
Oh
not
no.
basically just like kind of like just a yogurt smoothie
Yeah,
with spices?
mango? Yeah, pretty much.
I
I'm
don't know.
pretty
I'd
sure
have
that's
to
all
look
it's in it.
into it.
Like yogurt,
Oh, so
mangoes.
good. I love lassi.
Man, let's make some lassies, dude.
Yeah, we
For
totally, well, we
Christmas?
probably
Heck
could.
yeah.
Ooh, Christmas lassi? Wait, eggnog
Yes.
lassi?
Oh,
Is that a
you
thing?
lost me, but you can make it a thing if you wanted to.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
true.
strong
You don't
eggnog
like
girly.
eggnog. Okay,
I
okay.
know.
I forget.
Sad. Speaking of forgetting,
Sheesh.
what's this about?
Okay, so this episode really isn't really about anything.
Yeah,
Let
that's
me
fair.
mention that right now to everybody who's listening. We wanted to, I guess, give ourselves a little bit of a brain break, and so we just picked some of our favorite scary stories of the week. And it seemed like you guys liked them the last time, so we're basically just going to read those and discuss them. But before that, let's get into some horror news. I just had a few
Yay.
things to mention that I found
Okay.
online. It seems like it's a pretty slow week in horror, but oh, I didn't mention last week about the updates to Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Dead by Daylight. Both of those are obviously games. Charlotte knows that because we play them. But
Yes.
to everybody who doesn't know, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game came out like a few months ago. It really hasn't been that long, which, by the way, I already have over 72 hours into it, which I'm really excited about because it hasn't been out that long. But they just added a new killer and a new survivor, and the new killer is way overpowered in my opinion, but they are really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so this is going to sound like gibberish if you don't play the game, but she's basically, which I mean, you would know because you watch, but
Yeah.
she's basically the cook and the hitchhiker in one because she can trap and sense where survivors are. So it's like, what the hell? She's just
that's
been
a
super,
lot.
super, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And then Dead by Daylight, they added the Chucky chapter, which you can play in Dead by Daylight as the killer, as either Chucky from Child's Play, obviously. Well, more so Chucky from like the later movies, but Chucky or Tiffany, which is really fun because if you wear the Tiffany skin, she's got like the Jennifer Tilly. I don't know if it's actually Jennifer Tilly who voiced it, but it sounds like her, like voice acting and stuff like that. So it's super cute. I played my first match against a Tiffany the other day and I was super excited about it. Unfortunately, it didn't come with a new survivor or a new map or anything like that. But Chucky is like so different from every other killer on the game so far. So that's kind of like a positive note. It makes you feel a little bit hopeful about the future of Dead by Daylight. Like hopefully they're going to continue to try to do different things just because I know that they took a huge blow with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but we love both in this house. So
yes.
Yes, ma'am. Another thing I want to mention, have you been watching this show? Because I don't have Hulu anymore. There's a murder mystery called Shining Vale that's on Hulu starring Courtney Cox.
Really?
It just breached Hulu's top 10 series list. So it's like gaining a lot of traction right now. It's supposed to be like really good, but I've never seen it. I don't have Hulu right now.
Really? Well, actually, fun fact, I just renewed our Hulu subscription, so
Ooh.
we definitely do have Hulu now. I already logged in on the TV girl,
Oh, I love it.
but yes, no, I haven't seen that, but I'm definitely looking for new thrillers at all times,
Yeah.
so I'm very much into that. I think there was another one I was supposed to be watching too, and also we
Yeah.
love Courtney Cox. We
Oh, we do,
love
we do. And
her.
yeah, a lot of people were saying that she was amazing and she was unlike anything that they'd ever seen her do before. However, she was one of the few, like the many other people that were really, really good in the show. So apparently, a lot of the other actors just portray their characters really well. And apparently, the show was just super successful and very entertaining. So I'm
Okay.
definitely going to check that out. If you guys have seen it, please let us know what you think. Please let us know if you think that
Yes,
we should watch it
please.
because we'd be happy to check it out. If so, another thing that I want to mention is I didn't even realize that this was happening, but the Alien TV series, based on obviously the 1979 Ridley Scott movie, just added 6 new members to its casting as they prepare to begin filming for February of next year. I didn't even know that that was going to happen. So that's pretty
Ooh.
exciting. I will say that I am the type of person who was like super against like making a series out of old movies or like remaking many things for like years. I was like that. I'm not like that
You drawn to
anymore.
remakes, really?
I'm not going to say that I'm like super into them, but I'm open to the
Yeah.
idea of them now. You know what I mean? Like way more
Yeah,
than I
yeah.
was before.
I
Um,
feel like it makes more sense now that there's actually been so much time and so many leaps and bounds in cinema that like
yeah.
you can make remake a movie and it's like something
And it's
else
not
entirely, you know?
awful.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
hate to say this because I hate to bash anything. Actually, I don't. I'm gonna say it. But there was
Go
a Carrie,
ahead. Let your
there was a
hater flag
Carrie
fly.
remake. Yes, a Carrie remake
Yeah.
that I hadn't seen it in years and years, so it may be better than I remember it being. But it was awful. It was just dreadful, and I
Really?
think that was like where the
Ye-
start of my like remake hate began. And it wasn't the one with Chloe Grace Moritz. It was a different one. It was like one from like 2006 or something, but I just was not crazy about it. I'm gonna have
Hmm.
to go back and watch it again, but I just thought of that randomly. Um,
That's fair.
Also, news has been released that most of the cast of Black Phone will be returning to film a sequel. So if you liked Black Phone, there
Yes.
will be a sequel, and it's going to be a lot of the original cast. So that's something to
I'm
look
so
forward to.
excited.
I'm a huge Ethan Hawke
Yes.
fan. Admittedly, I
Really?
didn't see Black Phone yet, but I
Oh
love
my
Ethan Hawke. I
God. It was
love
good.
Sinister. That's sick. I'm gonna definitely have
Yeah.
to check it out. But
You
big fan of
should. I
his. I
didn't
think he's
know.
great.
Yeah, yeah. He's actually. I had never seen his work before. I didn't know what to expect. Or probably have, but didn't know. I'm like trying to be a lot better about remembering actors.
Yeah,
I went into the movie not knowing what to expect, but I saw it over the summer with one of my Houston friends at the time, and anyway, it was good. It was really, really good, really well done. I'm surprised there's going to be a second movie. I wonder where they're going to take the story. I guess there was kind of like a, and I'm pretty sure they can take it anywhere if they want to, but
right.
it seemed pretty nicely wrapped up for the first one. But I'm down. I'm down to see it become a whole genre. I think it was pretty spooky in the theater. It wasn't like,
Yeah,
like heart stopping, gory, scary, but it was still like
right.
a good time. Yeah. Sorry to
I
go
can't
on
even
into that, but
remember. No,
yeah.
I love that you did. I can't even remember the last time or what the last movie. The last movie that I watched in theaters was with you
Was it
guys. We
Evil Dead with
watched.
us?
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah, yeah. So I
was.
figured. Yeah, same here.
Shit, I'm like so weird about movies or going to the movies because I'd much rather like enjoy the experience in the comfort of my own home where I can pause it and get
Yeah.
up and pee and like go make a snack for like three
No, for
hours and then come
sure.
back. But
Yeah.
honestly, I will say there is like a big charm to like seeing a movie in theaters. Like there's something about being in the
Yeah.
dark room with like other people that share your interests and stuff. But sometimes I'm like,
Well,
is that a part of my childhood that's dying? But I
you
think
know,
we
I think
mentioned
we
this
should.
before in a past
No,
episode.
I mean we probably have, but also I
Yeah,
feel like we should put more effort into like making movie nights at home more of a thing. Like not just us like having a night,
absolutely.
but like getting the
Yeah.
pillows, the popcorn, like making that into an
Mhm.
event so it feels like because I just go to the movies now as like a date or a fun thing, just to like have
Yeah.
fun. Because like you said, it's a lot more fun to watch a movie at home in my bed when I can get up. But
Yeah. Well, especially
we
if
could
you're gonna
all,
be alone.
yeah,
Have you
yeah,
seen those pictures? I've seen pictures that people will take like a kiddie pool and like fill it up with like blankets and pillows.
yes,
Isn't that so
yes, dude.
cute?
I
And they'll watch
swear
a
to
movie in that.
God, yes, I would literally die for that. I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love it. We
We
should
can
have one.
totally do it. Yeah,
We
absolutely.
can, we can. Look, birthday coming up. We need
I don't think kiddie
plans,
pools are
okay?
super expensive, so
No, I don't
we
think
could probably
so.
just find one for like $20 or something.
Yeah, yeah. Man, if we
So
could find
cute.
one
I
of
love
those
it.
70s conversation couches, like the
I
real authentic
know, like the
ones, or just like a big
pits.
couch. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be way
Man.
sick. Yeah,
Yeah. But then
I
also
love
it would be
that.
kind of hard to carry around. But kiddie pool, I'm down for that too.
Well, the couches, I think they actually go into the ground. Like, I think that was like part of the
Yeah, yeah,
architecture of
yeah,
the
yeah.
house, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
way
So
sick.
no, that's
Oh my
super sick. That's
gosh.
like impossible to do now. But that was like, yeah. Man,
Yeah.
imagine just getting up and having to like, all right, everyone.
Yeah.
You just
Wait,
never
after a crazy
bother.
ass movie and maybe you're like 3, 4 glasses of wine in, and then you just
Man,
like get up out
stuck.
the
Stuck.
I'd never leave.
You
I
get up?
sleep in there. And why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
And why not? Especially if you
As
have
you
blankets and
should.
pillows. Period.
Get comfortable, everybody.
Get
Man.
comfortable. Oh, this is something
Yeah.
I'm really excited to mention actually. So,
Let me know.
I saw a streaming service that I'd never heard of before, and I'm embarrassed to admit it
Okay.
because I feel like I should have, called Screambox. Have you heard of that?
I think I have, but only like loosely. I still think Shutter is probably the most known thing, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I like this because I like the idea that there's another option. I think that's potentially really
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
And as much, you guys know, I love Shutter. I talk about it like frequently. I love my Shutter subscription.
Yes.
However, I love the idea of competition in the market because that means that things are going to improve, you know, because
Yeah.
they have to basically. So basically, if you haven't heard of it, Screambox is very similar to Shutter, so it's like a horror streaming platform, but they've got some really great titles on there, and I think that they've only been live since something like September or maybe like August or whatever, but it hasn't been that long. Um, and some of the titles include some of our favorites like Sleepaway Camp, The Collector. Torso is one of my
Ooh.
all-time favorite movies. Tenebrae is probably my favorite movie. And then of course some like must-see classic series. They have Elvira's Movie Macabre, which I love, love, love.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I couldn't go to sleep like without something playing on my TV just because I had like night terrors. So
Real,
usually
real.
one of the go-tos that I would play would be Elvira's Movie Macabre. So that's very close to my heart. And then they have Mystery Science Theater 3000, stuff like that too.
Ooh,
There's
shit,
so
nice.
much really, really cool stuff on the streaming platform. And I found that there is a 7-day free trial on through Amazon Prime. So if you don't want to pay for like the entire first month, which is only
Okay.
like $5 or something, it's
That's not
$4.99.
bad
So it's
either.
really not bad.
Yeah.
You can try out the free trial, which I will definitely be doing. And I'm excited to see where the service goes from here because I think it's only up. The actual platform of the website looks really cool so far. So I think that they're going to give Shutter a run for their money. We'll
Hell
see.
yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead, Stream Wars. We needed more horror options. Like, let's stop
Period.
playing. People are into horror. They don't want just
Yep.
like, especially since how every streaming service will have a sprinkle of this one, that one, this one. We needed like
Yeah.
a centralized hub for sure. So
Right.
it's
And I
nice to
will
see the
say,
options.
I love, don't get me wrong, I love a lot of Netflix's original horrors, and I like some of Hulu's original horrors,
Yeah.
horror movies and stuff like that, series and whatnot. But I will say that I think that and I'm going to be careful in saying this, but I think that they are trying really hard to keep the money internal, and so they're missing out on being able to provide a lot of like not only classics but a lot of newer movies that are coming out as well. And basically, I just think that that leaves a lot of opportunity for these horror streaming services to potentially just really pop off. And I'm hearing more
Yeah.
people talk about like Shutter alone, like more than I ever have before. So that's a really good sign for us, for
Yes,
horror
yes,
lovers, really in general.
absolutely. Hell yeah. So Tim Burton announced that they just finished, well, he and his team finished filming
Right?
for Beetlejuice 2. So that's exciting as well. The movie had been delayed because of like the writer strikes and everything, but they just wrapped it
Yeah.
up today. So we can be excited to say that, that movie's coming out. I was not like a huge Beetlejuice girly growing up, but I did do a Beetlejuice costume once and
Yeah.
was compared to Beetlejuice once. So that's kind of cool.
I
But
love
yeah.
that. What do we know about it so far? Because all I've ever seen were fake. Were you here when we were watching the fake trailers? The like AI
No?
trailers? Oh
No?
my
That
god,
sounds insane. What?
So me and Kai were like looking because I kept seeing pictures of like Jenna Ortega, and you know me, like
Yeah.
if Jenna Ortega is there, I'm there.
Right.
That's my girl.
Period. Yeah. Tuned
Period.
in. Okay.
I love her. So I saw like it was like a Beetlejuice 2 trailer. It said on YouTube, and it had her picture
Yeah.
on it, and I was like, oh my god. So I clicked it, and it was like all this like AI shit that like they just made like this fake trailer for like if she was in the movie.
Girl.
So I don't
Wow.
actually even really know anything about it other than that, because I thought all I knew
Yeah.
about it was that I thought she was going to be in it, and she's not actually going to be in it. Or as far as I know,
No.
she might actually be, but
No, I don't think so. There's not really a whole lot that's really known about it. I know that like Brad Pitt is his studio is like working on it. People thought that Jenna Ortega was going to be in it. There's like talks about it, but nothing's been confirmed.
she's got a lot
Um,
going on right now,
yeah, I mean, pretty
which I
much everybody in
love.
the horror world's trying to snatch her up,
I
so
want to see
she
her
could be
everywhere all the
anything.
time.
I
Yeah.
do. No, literally like her, Mia Goth, and I guess I don't know what the third is yet. Those are like the
Anya
new
Taylor
generation of horror girls.
Joy.
I was gonna say that, but I've only seen her in one thing. I've only seen her in the menu, so I don't know. But
Oh
I'm sure
no,
she was in The
you've
Witch
seen?
too, right?
Yeah, she was in The Witch, and
Yeah.
then haven't you
Okay.
seen what's that one called? Split.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So she's been around. Okay, I guess
Oh
that's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
I
But I
love
also
her.
feel
Big
like Florence
fan.
Pugh is a girl too. But I don't want to
Yeah.
compare the two, so I just want it to be three. But there could be four. Maybe it's
Absolutely.
four
Oh, it doesn't.
girlies.
Oh, it could be a whole
Maybe.
gaggle, because I feel like
Maybe
Samara
so.
Weaving as well. Samara Weaving is
That's
kind of
true.
coming up,
That's
so
true.
I'm like,
Okay.
or not coming
This
up.
is
I
a
mean,
whole
she's super
generation.
famous, but I
Yeah,
mean, as
yeah.
far as like if you're thinking of like scream queens,
Yeah,
the new
the new
era.
generation Scream Queens.
I
Next
love
episode, the new gen Scream Queens. We're gonna talk about
it. Ooh,
it.
such a good
Yes,
idea.
follow up to our final girls one. But yeah, so okay, so I guess I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now to do
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
update.
yeah.
As far as the cast goes, right now we know that Michael Keaton's going to be Beetlejuice, Winona
Okay,
Ryder
okay.
is going to play Lydia, Catherine O'Hara is going to be Delia, and possibly Jenna Ortega might be Astrid, but like I said, that's not confirmed. It
Please.
would be ideal. It would be ideal. And they
Yeah.
might have Willem Dafoe in there as like a ghost
Oh,
detective. So
I love
I don't
him.
know.
I
Yeah, it
love
sounds like
him
it's gonna be
so
good.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a Tim Burton fan? Are you big into the guy?
Um, it's complicated because like yes, in the way that like I know everything about basically everything he's done, but
Yeah,
no
like a
in the way
childhood
that I'm
moment.
not like I don't have like a ridiculous amount of like Nightmare Before Christmas. I
Nightmare.
always want to say Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare
I'm
Before
crying.
Christmas, like stuff everywhere, like
Yeah.
memorabilia or anything like that. But
Yeah.
I do appreciate like his work and stuff.
It's like the horror version of Disney adults, but acceptable.
Yeah. Please don't be offended.
No offense. Look, if you're a Disney adult that's also a scream queen, let's talk.
Let's
We
give
would
us a
love to like give you a
call.
platform. We want to hear about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
But they do,
absolutely.
to be fair, they I think they do converge more than I think. I feel like I know people
Horror and
who
Disney.
I guess maybe like horror and
Actually,
like the
yes. No,
cartoon
I agree with
world.
you.
You
I think
know,
you're onto something because
there's a wave.
yeah, absolutely. I think that I think it's probably more than anything just fantasy in general. So I think it's just like
Yeah,
people who are
yeah,
like into like
yeah.
fantasy type
Dreaming.
of stuff like horror and like
Yes.
like Disney and stuff like that. So I could see it.
Yeah. Cool. So before we get into our story, one more little piece of news from A24 world. Just found this out. Apparently a new movie is coming out from the people that made Bodies, Bodies, Bodies called
Ooh.
Baby Girl. Don't know a ton about it yet, but it's
Me?
supposed to be about a CEO.
I'm joking.
No,
Literally me.
well, could be you. Could be
Us?
you. Could also be me. It's apparently about a CEO who's dealing with a hot young intern, but it's from A24, so it's definitely not going to be a romance. So
Right. Yeah, somebody's dying. Like
someone's going to be murdered. Big fan. Going to have
oh my
Nicole Kidman in
goodness.
there. Love seeing her in horror. I think she is one of my scream queens, even though obviously she's
Oh, she's
much big.
incredible. Yeah.
She's everywhere, but I feel
Mhm.
like, man, when I see her in a horror movie, I'm just like, girl.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Harris Dickinson, sorry, Sophie Wilde, Jean Reno are going to be in there. Yeah, it should be a really good time. I enjoyed Bodies,
Nice.
Bodies, Bodies a lot. I think it was a breakout movie that a lot of people thought was going to be terrible, and it was actually really funny and really scary. So, and I don't know this director very well. Her name is Helena Rajan. Sorry if I'm
Okay, I
butchering the
don't know.
name, but I'm going to start following their work more. So,
Absolutely.
love
While
to
we're
see
on the
it.
topic of A24, should I go show my package?
Look, I was just thinking, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me
So-
make sure my like address isn't on this before I
Yes,
show
yes, please.
it. Okay, so here's the front of the package.
Yes.
A24 is all access A24. So Charlotte got me the
Yes.
subscription for my birthday. I love it so much. Thank you so much. This was such a good idea too. Let's show, because actually,
Let's
Charlotte,
get
I
into
don't
it.
think you've seen all of the contents of it yet.
No, I tried to avoid as much as possible so I didn't spoil it for you or for me.
Ooh,
But
okay.
I'm very
Let me
excited to
pull
see.
out
Yay.
everything, and then I will try to explain it as best I can for the people that are listening to the podcast and not watching.
Okay.
Okay, so basically
Let me
so
clear my
basically it came
throat.
with this, it's like the membership card, which I think is really, really
Okay.
cool, and a little
So
key tag.
cute.
Um,
I love it.
yeah, and it has, like, on the back it says member.
Oh yeah.
And they were saying something about movie screenings, so I guess maybe that would
Mm-hmm.
be, like, what that would be for or something.
Yeah, they could probably scan it or something.
Right. This little pin, look how cute this is.
Yay.
AA24.
Oh yeah.
And it's like really, really nice. So I think what I'm gonna do
Okay.
with that for pins, I don't really like just pinning them on things because I feel like they just fall off and get lost. So I'll probably
Yeah.
just like pop it in something and hammer the back down. Or
Ooh, that'd be
something like
nice.
that. We'll
Yeah,
see.
like on your
Yeah.
bulletin board or something.
Yeah. Oh,
That'd be cute.
that's a really good idea. Yeah, actually, that's
Yay.
probably what I'll do instead.
Yeah.
And then this is so cute, you guys. So this is issue 2020. I didn't realize they'd been doing them that long.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I knew it was kind of like not new, but I didn't know 20
Right.
was, I don't know.
Huh. Well, or maybe they're doing like 10, 20, 30, 40, kind of like that or whatever. I don't
Well,
know
what
for
is
like
it?
stylization. Well, it's Brendan
Oh.
Fraser.
Oh.
Yeah, so this one is all about
Sick.
Brendan Fraser, which is super, super
Oh, they're
cute.
zines. They're little zines.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And then it
Okay.
comes, I guess probably all the zines come with a little poster in them. I don't even want to
Yeah.
take it out, but look how cute this one
I'm
is.
so excited. Oh
Yes.
my god. Badass. Yeah.
I want to put that on my wall so bad, but
Yes.
it's just a picture of Brendan Fraser. It's kind of a popular meme picture where he's got the
Yeah.
cigarette in his mouth and he's flipping off the camera, and he's so adorable.
Hell
I
yeah.
can't
Oh, I
wait to
love
put
that.
this up. Yes, me too.
Yes. So I know they actually do like 4 years. So I guess they've been doing.
Mhm.
It's been like 5 years with the membership club. Man.
Well, that's what I was
5
thinking. Maybe they
years.
did like 10, 20, like maybe this is just the second one or something.
Oh.
Because if it's been happening for like 2 or 3 months now, then that would make sense since they're doing like 4 in a year. That'd be like every
Oh. Yeah.
3 months or so. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
Very cool. I wish I had
Yay.
the first one. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I know. I'm about to say.
Okay, just 1 second. Let me pop this sucker back in there.
Alrighty.
Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into these stories that we have here and see how many we're able to cover over the course of the rest of the episode. So this particular story is from the No Sleep subreddit of Reddit, obviously. And the name of this one is "My Boyfriend's Dad Moved In With Us. I Want Him Gone." And this one's got 599 upvotes. So it's definitely trending on the homepage of No Sleep. So I'm excited to get into it. Let's go. I haven't read this yet, so we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
My boyfriend's dad moved in with us. I want him gone. Okay, so I'm extremely frustrated here, and I figured I would turn to you fine folks on what to do. The story is long, but I have to tell it to let you know how we got here. I'm hoping that after reading, I'll get the help I need. So, my boyfriend Aaron and I have been together for 4 years. It's been wonderful. From the moment we met at my best friend's wedding, we've been inseparable. He gets me in a way that no one else seems to. He listens to me when I'm sad. We both share an extreme love for video games, and both of us have had ... not the greatest of childhoods. More on that later. We have a deep emotional bond that goes beyond anything physical. I truly believe he's my soulmate. So, when Aaron approached me 6 months ago with the prospect of moving in together, of course I said yes. Both of our leases end at the same time, and between my crummy apartment and his terrible landlord, the answer was crystal clear. He pretty much was sleeping at my apartment every weekend, so the transition flowed seamlessly. It's been my most favorite place to call home. Aaron says the same, so much so, in fact, that I wouldn't be surprised if he proposes to me in a year or so. And the thing is, if he does, I don't know if I can say yes right now. There's this little nagging issue that comes up that Aaron likes to pretend isn't a big deal. It happens. His father has been living with us for 2 months now, and he's the worst. So before I get into why my possible future father-in-law is god-awful, let me give some background. Aaron and I both come from abusive households. His father was a raging psycho who had an inferiority complex. Aaron's mother, God rest her soul, was a nurse who made a pretty decent amount of money. His father worked at a steel plant when Aaron was born, but when Aaron turned 13, it closed down. His father didn't have any sort of degree and was working mainly as a mechanic on and off at a local dealership. They paid him pennies pretty much, leaving Aaron's mom to work extra to pick up the slack. Aaron's dad hated how that robbed him of his precious manhood and would drink himself silly to the point where he became violent. His mother, under stress, suffered a heart attack when Aaron was 17 and passed away, leaving Aaron in the slippery clutches of his dad. Aaron said he stayed at home until he graduated high school, but as soon as the diploma was in his hands, he hightailed it out of state and pretty much said goodbye to his house of torment. Which is why it baffled me when, one day, out of the blue, this old man showed up to our townhouse asking to speak to Aaron. I was out in the front tending to my small flower garden when I felt this presence behind me. This large, unkempt man blocked the sun from beaming down, his crystal blue eyes peering into mine. He didn't have to say who he was. Those eyes were the same as Aaron's. Understandably, Aaron did not keep any picture of his dad, so I would have never seen the guy, but the goosebumps on the back of my neck spoke of who he was before his lips did. "Excuse me," he bellowed. His voice bellowed is such a good word. His voice sounding overworked and old. Old. Does Aaron Lee live here? I couldn't even answer him properly at first. His presence was so intimidating. His piercing eyes barely blinked as he looked through me, and it honestly made sweat pool around the back of my neck. But as I remembered all of the stories Aaron had told me about his dad, assuming this was him, my protective girlfriend mode kicked in, ceasing my anxiety. "May I ask who you are? I don't feel comfortable saying who lives here without knowing." Which is another way of just saying, yeah, he lives here. Basically.
Yeah.
He let out a deep breath, one that made me shiver, but his facial expression remained as plastic as it did when he approached me. "I'm his old man. Name's Andrew. Now, is he here or not? I need to speak to him." He crossed his arms as those beady, icy eyes bore down into mine, a look of finality crossing over his features. Christ, I remember thinking, I can see why Aaron practically hates this jerk. Not letting him get the best of me, I stood up and turned to go inside, leaving him in front of the lawn. I wasn't answering another question from this guy until I spoke with Aaron. I found him in his game room. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to read. I found him in his game room, knee deep in a first person shooter. "Babe," I approached cautiously, knowing the subject of his dad was a sensitive one. "There's this guy out front that says he needs to speak with you, and I think you'll want to get a look at him." Aaron's eyes didn't leave the monitor, and I waited for his attention as he took out a member of the opposing team. After screaming victory into his headphones, he finally turned to give me his full attention. "Sorry, babe, what was that?" Which, this is you, Char. "Victory Royale, yes!" And she turns
You
around.
already know.
What'd you say? Yes. "Guy out front says he's here to see you. His name is Andrew." The look of curiosity that ran over Aaron's features let me know that he probably thought the same thing I was thinking. He immediately stood up and slid past me, and it wasn't long before I heard the alarm of our front door beep. Aaron was outside for a few minutes while I nosily stood to the side of the doorway. I was about to peek around the corner myself when Aaron waltzed back in, not a care in the world, and shut the door. He looked at me and shrugged. Must have lost the nerve and left already. I couldn't believe he left like that myself, but honestly, I would be afraid to talk to my kid too if I was a shit stain like Aaron said his dad was. It was weird, but whatever. I put the encounter out of my mind, thinking that was the last time I'd see Aaron's haggardly old man. That is until a few days later he came back again. This time, I was pulling the car into our garage, carrying in a large amount of groceries. Aaron was at work this day, so it was just me and our two cats home. Right as I was putting in the security code to our garage door to go inside, Andrew pops up again. Same disheveled appearance, his eyes focused and beady. He scared me, to be honest, as he stood at the section where our driveway and garage met. "Is Aaron here?" he grumbled lowly, nearly causing me to drop a bag or two. "Christ, you can't pop up on people like that," I sighed with heavy annoyance, balancing a bag on my hip. "Listen, I don't know what to tell you. Last time you left right when Aaron came to the door, and that was your last chance. You blew it, and now I don't know if I feel comfortable arranging a meeting with you two." His eyelids dropped, and for the first time I saw a small glimpse of remorse run across his facial features. It left as quickly as it came, though, and those pointed, beady eyes were back on mine again. "Please," he whispered, "just let me inside. I just want to see my son. I have to." I sighed again, but this time I could feel my sympathy taking over. After all, he was a mess, and he was Aaron's father. Maybe he really did want to apologize after all. "You can't come inside," I bit, not trusting a stranger. "But you can hang out on the porch. Aaron should be home in an hour if you can wait that long. After that, it's up to him what happens next." He nodded quickly, not bothering to say anything else, and exited the driveway. I hurriedly shut the garage door and went inside, looking over our security doorbell footage on my phone. Sure enough, there he was, sitting on our small stoop, arms propped on his knees, patiently waiting. I put the groceries away and kept an eye on the footage. Andrew never moved, not even so much to scratch his head. An hour later, I heard the garage door open, minutes before Aaron found me in the living room and scooped me into a hug. Baffled, I broke free and quizzed Aaron. Hey, that Andrew guy's back. He's waiting for you on our porch. Did you see him? Aaron rubbed his eyes with annoyance. No, but it's not like I was exactly paying attention. Today was rough and I had sights set on coming in. He bit his lip in thought for a moment before saying, I'm going to get a glass of water really quick. Can you open the door and let him in? I'll meet with him and see who he is and what he wants, I guess. Who he is? Is he not aware this is his dad? I found it odd that Aaron wanted to let him in so quickly, but he must know it's his dad. Maybe Aaron always wanted an apology after all. Besides, whenever he was anxious, Aaron always needed a glass of water to calm his nerves. So, nodding my head, I headed for our door and unlocked it. Andrew immediately turned around, his beady eyes hopeful. All right, he agreed. Oh, all right, he agreed, I said with a shrug. So come on inside. The smile that illuminated his face could have lit up a whole block if he wanted it to, as he quickly stood. Thank you for finally inviting me in. You've no idea what you've done for me. Is he a vampire? He slid past me, bringing a cool breeze with him. I locked the door and moved past him, just in time to see Aaron making his way toward me. Well, I guess I should leave you guys to it. I'll bring some snacks for everyone. Immediately feeling a heavy tension in the room, I walked past Aaron until he grabbed my arm lightly. Jessica, his eyebrows turned downwards as he quizzically looked at me. I thought you let him in. I did. He's literally right behind me. I turned around and pointed in the direction of the doorway, my accusatory digit targeted at the dingy man in the doorway. Oh, he's a ghost. He's gotta be. Babe, are you okay? There's no one here. Sorry, I'm just like fucking this all up.
No, you're fine. No.
I was certain that Aaron was gaslighting me because he and I were looking in the same direction and I was very clearly looking at Andrew. That's not funny, Aaron. I know it might be weird seeing your dad, but there's no need to make me seem crazy. Aaron's face went frigid and displayed emotion that I've never seen before. It honestly made my blood run cold with how dark it had gotten. Jessica, I don't know why you're carrying on this charade, but there's no one there. You and I are the only people in this house. Now I was getting angry and baffled that Aaron was still denying a very true fact. Your father is right there, Aaron. How can you not? That's impossible, Jessica. Aaron's eyes widened with fury, and I could see tears brimming on the bottom. Look, I never wanted to bring this up, but I saw my dad die, Jess. Ooh, big shocker. He took his life right in front of me. He couldn't fathom that I let him, so he came to my apartment to apologize when I first. Oh, that I left him. So he came to my apartment to apologize when I first moved in. We got into this big fight, and I said some things that he needed to hear, but I was also very angry and hurtful. I'll admit, he didn't respond. Aaron looked away, his voice lowering, just took his pistol from his holster and ... Yeah.
Man.
Aaron's voice drowned out, and soon I could only hear my heart beating. I slowly turned back towards the doorway, and sure enough, Andrew was still there. Except his head lowered, those beady eyes opened unnaturally wide, his eyebrows folded angrily down as they kissed his eyelashes. His mouth spread into the largest grin, his yellowed, decaying teeth taunting me. He smiled so wide I could see the cracks in his skin from the tight pull. Immediately, I knew that I had made a grave mistake. From that moment on, everything changed. Aaron is so quiet with me now, silently angry at me for pulling a prank, as he called it. It's been a month, and most days our house is filled with the hum of the TV or the cats. But Aaron barely gives me the deep combos I love so much, but that isn't even the worst part. Ever since I let that thing in, it never stops smiling. That cruel, evil, wicked smile is always pointing in my direction everywhere I go. Aaron can't see it and doesn't believe me when I try to tell him, so I am left to cower under its presence myself. The cats get a feeling that something is there because every time Aaron comes in the room, they scurry away. They used to be his lap cats and could barely leave him alone, but now they can't stand to be near him for too long. Aaron, of course, is also very upset about that, but Aaron also can't see that every day. It moves closer and closer to him. At first, it's kept its distance. For example, if Aaron was in the kitchen, it'd be in the living room. If he was in the shower, it'd be in the hallway. But now it's standing so very still right behind Aaron. If Aaron could see it, he would probably feel its breath on his neck. Now it's been whispering, almost, son, nearly every hour, still staring at me whenever I come in the room. It makes me want to vomit. I don't know what to do. I need his presence gone. Whether it's Andrew or not, I can't help but feel like if I don't get it out before it touches Aaron, then something really bad will happen. Can someone give me advice, please? I'm so desperate and I feel crazy. I genuinely am afraid and at my wit's end. Okay, that one was kind of a doozy.
Yes.
I didn't realize it'd be so long. Sorry about that. It didn't seem long until I started reading it.
No, it's okay. The twists and turns kind of took me to a different place. Not twists and turns, but I didn't know what to expect.
Twist.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect
Me
Aaron
neither.
to be. I'm still not sure I fully understand what Aaron's dad
Oh, you
is
mean
actually.
oh, yeah, I mean, I guess just a ghost, right? Like, it seems
Yeah.
like he's just, like, a ghost that's haunting him, but it's also like, why? Like, why? You
Yeah.
know, like, you were the bad
Well,
guy.
yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I guess he never found peace, you know? He
Yeah,
never
true.
responded to his son's message, and now he's hanging out
But
like
also,
a
and
ghost,
we've talked about this,
ghosted.
like, not on the podcast before, but, like, could you be with somebody that, like, if you saw some shit like that and they didn't believe you, like, when you explained it to them, like
No, no. I feel like I would definitely at least be curious. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, no, there's no. If you were like dead serious, like, bro, I'm telling you, it's right there. I think I would
Yeah.
be like, okay, something's wrong. You know, like
I would
I
be very
wouldn't.
concerned. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
at first be concerned that you know, I was
yeah.
like, okay, there's some things going
Like,
on right
dang,
now,
it's
you
over
know?
it.
But at the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
time, like, I think I'd be open to the idea of like some crazy shit happening, you know?
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that
Yeah.
also, but if you're in that situation, like your brain wants you to think of every like rational explanation for it that isn't like damning or
The
like
worst. Yeah,
completely terrifying. Yeah. So honestly, I kind of get it, but like that still sucks. Like, why would
yeah.
you know, like, I don't know. I I just can't imagine that happening. That would suck so bad. I hate that in movies whenever people just won't believe the person. Like that's the
Yes.
worst thing ever.
Like fake friends. That would never
Yeah.
happen over here. You tell me one
Y-
time, bestie. I'm like, damn, all
Yeah, good
right.
enough for
What's going
me.
on?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I just rewatched that movie One Missed Call. Do you remember that movie from when we were in like junior high?
I remember when it came out, but I don't remember
Yeah.
like, man. I have to
Yeah.
watch it again. Was it good? Or was it
Well,
worth it to watch?
honestly, it's not bad. Like it's not bad. I know some people are listening probably like that movie was awful, but it wasn't bad for what it is. Like I don't think it's supposed to be this ambitious like
Yeah,
elevated
yeah,
horror, you know? It's just like what you see
yeah.
is what you get and it's really really not that bad. But I will say that there are parts where the girl's like this is happening and nobody believes her and it's like people are literally dying in freak accidents.
Man.
Like, why is it so hard to believe, you know? Why is it
Yeah.
more easy to believe that like these like ridiculous like freak accidents are happening so frequently rather than like, oh, they're connected in some way, you know? And
Yeah,
this girl has an
literally.
explanation for it.
Yeah, I don't know why people. Well, I guess we already said that, but it's just
Yeah,
wild.
right. I'm looking at these comments. Okay, so my favorite thing about the No Sleep subreddit, if you're new here and you don't know anything about them, is that the idea is that people are making it under the guise that it's a real post. Like obviously it's all fiction, but the comments, like people will respond in ways as if like the user was actually looking for help. So I think that's like pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
person says you can try renouncing your invitation. Not sure which entity you're dealing with, but Inhumans are sticklers for rules and hospitality is a huge one. I didn't know that because I assume there's some truth behind that.
Yeah. I guess.
Um, this person said, an inhuman? Is that what he could be? Well, girl, he's not human.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to renounce it. I saw another user mentioning using salt. So that's cool. I always love reading the comments on these posts.
Yeah, it's like the story never really ends.
Yeah, I love that. I love
So
that.
cute.
Alrighty, do you want to get into yours?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Sorry if I'm looking distracted. I am just like shopping to shit, or not really shopping, but just like browsing the shit out of the A24 merch gift site. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, I need all
You're
this. I need all this for me. This is definitely like a permanent list for me. But yeah,
you're
anyway, let's get
good.
into my story. My story is very relevant. Not for me because I have cats, but the experience of having to get a trainer for your pet can definitely be daunting, hopefully not spooky. This one is by Fainting Goat. This person's story, let's see, has 1.1K upvotes. Like, I don't know, I couldn't
Ooh.
think of the word for a second.
Yeah, I was about to say
Oh,
followers.
I'm like, huh? I don't know, maybe, but so
Yeah.
it's a pretty popular story, I would say. This one's also a bit long, but y'all are here because you love to hear our voices, I'd assume. So let's get
Hmm.
into it. So I'm looking for a dog trainer, just like the title says, but this is kind of a special case. Okay, sure, I imagine everyone says that, but just bear with me. So I thought I'd ask around first to see if anyone has any ideas. I'm a bit at a loss on how to go about finding someone that can specialize in a case like my dog. Let me give you some background here. I got this dog 6 years ago from the shelter. No idea what his past is like. He's not very friendly, but he's certainly not aggressive. Just has people he likes, me, and then everyone else is a suspicious person. I'm sure you know the type. Overall, a pretty good dog, and his few behavioral issues haven't been that big of a problem. He's terrible on a leash, but he doesn't need to be leash walked because I live out in the country and he's got plenty of land to run around and do what he wants.
Oh, good
He
boy.
does? I know, what a good guy. That's the dream, you know?
Yeah.
Now, he does bark at people, and normally this wouldn't be an issue with how spread out everything is here, but the way that my house is situated, it's within eyeshot of my neighbor. We've both got acres of land, but our houses were built to one side of that land, right at the spot where the property line is. I moved to the country for privacy, like most people, I imagine, and I figured this wouldn't be an issue because there was a line of big pine trees that separated our yards, and we didn't have to see each other. Then we had a nasty windstorm that damaged a couple of them, and I don't know, I guess he lost his damn mind and cut all of them down. And then he put up this ugly chain link fence. So, I'm not ascribing any sort of malice to it. He's always been friendly to me. I think he just doesn't like to put much effort into maintaining his property. His yard is always covered in dandelions. His gardens would be overgrown, except for last summer. I watched him do the chemical equivalent of burning and salting the earth. So now he's just got scorched weeds and barren earth surrounding his house. The porch has dry rot, but it hasn't spread to the support beams yet, so he's just ignoring it. And just lots of other little things. It just makes me feel like he lives here because it's convenient and not because he wants to. But maybe I'm reading too much into it. I just wanted to explain why my dog didn't become a problem until recently. It started around when this fence went up. First, it was the barking. If he saw my neighbor return home or go out into his yard, he'd want out. Then he'd stand by the fence and bark his head off. It got to the point where I'd refuse to let him out if my neighbor was outside, but I think my dog started tracking when he was or wasn't home. Yes, that sounds crazy, I know, but I swear that was what happened. If my neighbor was home, he'd stand by the fence and bark. If he wasn't home, he could care less. It got to the point where my neighbor noticed and asked me about it, and I had to apologize. I started taking him outside on a leash when I knew my neighbor was home, which sucks because he's terrible on a leash, but at least he knew he was being watched and stopped barking. Then he started rage pooping instead. I'm not sure what else to call it. He'd sidle up to the fence as close as he could get, shove his butthole against the chain link, and drop a turd on my neighbor's side.
This dog is so real.
This dog is insane. And the worst part is he'd turn his head around to stare intently at the neighbor's window while he did this.
What a kid.
Demonic. Okay, so the first time I didn't realize what he was doing, and after that I didn't let him do it while he was on the leash. But when he was out unsupervised, he would take the opportunity, and then I had to go clean up my neighbor's yard before he got home. I think my neighbor figured out that my dog hated him, and instead of being like, oh, haha, animals can be funny like that, and letting me manage it, because I was keeping him from barking. I was cleaning up his side of the yard. He instead started feuding with my dog. He glared at him whenever you were in the yard, was always friendly to me, but somehow managed to work in a snide comment about my dog in every conversation. He'd make it sound like good-natured ribbing, but I knew he meant to be insulting when he called my dog a mutt or an ornery little shit. And he'd look at my dog when he said this with a smug little smirk on his face, as if he was watching for my dog's reaction, or was just gloating at how the dog didn't know he was being insulted. But I think my dog did know. One time he did that and my dog started coughing, and I swear it sounded like he was saying under his breath, fuck you too.
Wow.
Yes, the dog was saying that. Yes, I know how that sounds. Bear with me, okay? So, harassment of the neighbors. That's the first issue I want to work on with any potential trainer. No more barking, no more rage pooping, and no more swearing at people. The next issue I want to work on is improper chewing. I've gotten him every texture of chew toy I could find, but I just can't get him to chew on them. I've got soft toys, antlers, plastic bones, rubber chews. I legit went down the toy aisle at the pet store and basically got one of every type. And yet he insists on finding things around my house. It's upsetting enough when your dog destroys things, right? But honestly, I'm more worried he's going to hurt himself. You see, the things he's chewing on are dangerous. He's taken my box knife 3 times now. I had to throw it away after the first time because he cracked the plastic case. I got a metal one and he shouldn't be able to break it, but A, I don't want him chewing on metal, and B, it's still a knife he's putting in his mouth. He's also made off with a kitchen knife, but he didn't get far with that one as I was in the kitchen and I had just been using it when he snatched it off the counter and tried to make a run for it. I got upset enough that he hasn't tried the counter surface since. He's still being an opportunist, though. For example, he knocked a candle off the kitchen table the other day. It was in a glass holder and it broke, and I think he stole one of the pieces. I didn't see him do it, but I thought they were going to say that he knocked a burning candle over and started a fire. Stealing the glass,
And banana.
I'm about to go down a whole rabbit hole. Disgusting. Sorry for screaming in the mic. Anyway.
No, you're good.
But when I picked up the pieces, there was a big shard conspicuously missing. I didn't imagine what happened to it other than that he stole it and has it hidden away somewhere. Really hidden. I tore this house apart trying to find it. I can't stop worrying he's going to hurt himself somehow. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to work on with him. He gets very overexcited when he thinks he's going to get a ride in the car. Jumps off sofas, slides around the rugs, crashes into furniture, and knocks things off. That's how the candle got broken. But I'm okay with this behavior if you need to focus on more pressing concerns. Which brings me to the most concerning of his recent behaviors. I don't know what to call this. Scavenging, trespassing, murder. The fence that my neighbor put up doesn't encircle his yard. We're out in the country and we have a lot of land after all. It's just there to deter my dog. You can get around it by just going far enough, but my dog has never been shown any interest in this because it's out of eyeshot of the house. So the fence works in keeping him out of my neighbor's yard. Okay? That's important to keep in mind. Now, I'm normally a heavy sleeper, but last month I was put on medication that changed that. I don't think my dog has realized it yet. Because starting a few months ago, he's been sneaking out at night, like unlocking, opening the door, and leaving, then coming and letting himself back in. The first time it happened, I almost called the police thinking I was being broken into, but then I realized I didn't hear the dog barking and thought maybe I just improperly locked the door. So I got up, checked it, and saw my dog running through the yard. I wrote it off as a fluke. The door wasn't properly shut, and he used to go outside on his own, so I waited for him to scratch the door to be let back in. But instead, I heard the door open and close. I heard the deadbolt slide shut, and then I heard his nails in the hardwood floor and the jingle of his collar tags. I pretended to be asleep when he came back into the bedroom. He flopped down on his dog bed and went straight to sleep, but I laid there awake for a long time. I would too, girl.
Like staring at the ceiling. What the hell?
Just thinking.
Yeah.
He did it again the next night and the night after that. Somehow my dog was opening the door and going outside when he thought I was asleep. He also started digging holes in my yard around that time. I wasn't sure if he was burying, and now I'm too afraid to dig them up and look. Not after what happened. I'm not sure I want to know for certain.
Oh my god.
About half a week after he started letting himself out at night, he got sick, like vomiting and diarrhea. Any dog owner can laugh about dog poop because you kind of have to get over it, but every dog owner also knows that a sick dog is another story altogether. That's a special level of horrific. So I got him an appointment with the vet as fast as I could. The vet said there was nothing to be concerned about, just that he probably ate something rotten in the yard. He gave my dog some dewormer just in case and said to call back if the vomiting doesn't stop. When we got home, my neighbor's house was swarming with police. Apparently, his brother hadn't been able to contact him for a few days and finally called in a wellness check. They found my neighbor somewhere on his property. He'd been dead for almost a week. After a while, an officer came over and talked to me for a little bit, and I didn't get the feeling they were searching for any kind of foul play. It was hard to tell for certain what happened because the body had been disturbed by wild animals, he said. And from reading between the lines, I think there were parts of the body missing. But it seemed likely to be natural causes. Probably was out doing yard work and had a heart attack. It happened. I wanted to say that my neighbor never did yard work, but at the moment my dog started horking.
I guess it's like really... when they do that.
I guess so.
So gross.
I guess so. Today I learned a new word. Horking in the kitchen, and I had to run outside to vomit. And I had to run him outside to vomit in the grass. And when I got back, the officer asked if everything was okay with him. I said, yeah, the vet checked him out, and then the officer reluctantly told me I might want to visit the vet again and really make sure everything was fine. They found some disturbing things in my neighbor's house. He apparently had it out for my dog. He had taken photos of my dog while he was rage pooping at the fence, cropped out everything but the head, and then blew that up to the size of a target and took a stack of them down to the gun range. Like, who does that?
What
fucking
a
nut
psycho.
job. Yeah, that's like a sicko, actually.
Ew.
Like, I'm sorry he's dead, but also I'm kind of glad I don't have to deal with him anymore.
God, what a weirdo.
That's weird. I mean, I don't think that makes the OP a bad person, but they did say that probably makes me a bad person.
Oh, wait, I thought you were saying all that. I was like, yeah, totally, but it's in this story.
No, some of it is.
You're such a good little reader.
Oh, thank you. I was in the advanced reader class in kindergarten, so don't play with her.
Very special.
Very known. Anyway, no, the dog was not poisoned. I think he just ate, like, rotten meat or something, like meat that had been left out for a week.
Ew.
I guess it could be a coincidence. The burying things in the backyard, the neighbor dying, the dog happening to smell a tasty body nearby and helping himself until he made himself sick. But there's one more thing, and this leads me to the last thing that I need help with from a professional trainer. I need someone who can address the whispering. He's been doing it for months now. It started right after my neighbor died. I woke in the night, disturbed by a quiet, insistent noise coming from beside my bed. I rolled over and it stopped, but I pretended to still be asleep and it resumed after a little while. I risked opening an eye to see what was happening. My dog was sitting in front of my bedroom mirror and whispering over and over, "Who's a good boy? I'm a good boy." He sounded so proud of himself. I'm a little frightened of him now. When I wake up in the morning, I find him watching me, waiting for my eyes to open. It's no longer cute and endearing. It feels sinister. Like, what happened to my neighbor? Did he really just have a heart attack in his backyard? And how's my dog talking to himself? I hate being afraid of my dog. I flinch when he enters the room. I think he realized I'm scared of him now because he's been acting kind of depressed almost. He's not as excited for treats anymore. He's not spending time outside, just goes out there to pee and then comes right back inside. He spends most of the day on the sofa watching me. Sometimes he walks over to me, half-heartedly licks the back of my ankle, and then sighs really deeply and returns to the sofa. Sad. I've been trying to convince myself that the whispering isn't a problem. It's not normal, but he's still my dog, right? I think that my mood is affecting him. He doesn't sound like he's congratulating himself in the mirror anymore.
Oh.
The last few nights, he's sounded more like he's trying to reassure himself. I tried telling him he's a good boy, like nothing was wrong, but I think he knows I'm faking it. Anyway, if you have any recommendations for trainers that would be comfortable taking on this kind of problem, please let me know. This is actually now an urgent problem because someone bought my neighbor's house. I was hoping it would all be fine, and aside from the whispering, there'd be nothing to worry about with my dog. The moving van arrived this morning. He's been at the window all day, watching them. He's not growling or barking. Honestly, I could handle that. A dog barking or growling isn't that weird. But that's not what he's doing, and it's scaring me. He's calmly staring at them and licking his lips. And while I was hiding around the corner listening, I heard him say quietly to himself, "Oh, he looks delicious."
That is so ridiculous.
Oh my god, doggy from hell.
I love him.
That's terrifying.
He sounds like a really good boy.
He sounds like a real one, and it's
he
not
sounds
his
like my
fault.
brother's
They're
dog.
Tasty. Goober?
Yeah.
Aww.
I imagine this being Goober the whole time.
Yes, the Goober just had a little snack, and
his tummy was rumbly. He was just hungry.
He's still a good boy.
Oh my god, that's cute.
Just
I like
whispering.
that.
That was a good story.
Yeah,
let's see what the comments were talking about.
I like yours better than mine.
Aw, I liked yours too, but yours was kind of like bleak. I think we all hate when parents move in and don't leave.
I like this comment right here. I'd suggest dexterizing your dog. Teach him rules to live by to appear like a normal dog and only kill serial killers.
Exactly. Just train him properly. These are the ones to eat. These are the ones we don't eat. Vampire rules. Very easy.
Oh my gosh. Vampire rules, period.
I'm glad to see professional dog trainers also chimed in. This is too long of a comment, but definitely advise keeping your dog safe, maybe making a pit for them, and choosing very nice people, etc. So
that's so funny.
I don't know. Looks like somebody said that the dog has the right idea, and it worked out great for them as well. Yikes! But you know.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love that. Oh my gosh.
I love that too. That was fun.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll read something a little bit shorter. It's crazy because it doesn't look like a long story until you're reading it aloud, and then it's like, oh my god, I've been reading for like 30 minutes. That was really good though.
Water. Thank you.
Yeah, right. And actually, that's like a basically the rest of our episode. We're already at over an hour now.
Yeah. So much for a mini-sode.
I know, right? We were kind of thinking it might be a mini-sode, but deep in my heart, I knew it wasn't going to be. Thank you guys so much for listening. How do you feel about these stories? Would you prefer them if they were shorter, or are you okay with the length? I love doing these episodes because I feel like they just give us a little brain break because we can just read and not have to worry about putting something together, really.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for
basically the same thing as like, yeah, for sure. It's almost like doing what is it called when like you watch movies and give a commentary about them at the same time? But that's too much to do like for a podcast, so we just read a story and talk about it.
Absolutely, I love that. Yeah, and I just love these like no sleep stories. But I saw that you had shared one of them from Short Scary Stories, so I'm definitely gonna have to check out that subreddit as well.
Yes, and
there's probably
a whole
shorter
multiverse
as well. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, guys, I think we're gonna start wrapping up now, so that way we don't keep you for like an hour and a half. which story did you like better? I personally liked Charlotte's story better. That was so funny, actually. I like a little like horror comedy moment. But
yeah, absolutely.
what do you guys want us to talk about in some upcoming episodes? We have some ideas for ones that are coming up, but we love to hear what you guys want to talk about. I know that some people suggested Fall of the House of Usher. I think that's going to take a little bit of time to get into, though. Yeah,
I know.
I don't think that's
I've
what
been
we can
hearing about
prepare
it
in a
too.
week.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So maybe we can start that and mention that as well. But if you guys have any comments or questions, be sure to let us know on our Instagram or through our email. And we always take that into account. So thank you guys so much for listening. I'm so excited that we filmed our first episode. I'm so excited to post this and see what people think.
Yes.
Upset that Zoe wasn't here for that, but she will be back
we miss
next
her.
time, and we're gonna make it work.
I can't do the Gen Z hard. I wish I could. Sorry, everyone.
Do the fucking K-pop shit.
You guys show me after this. Show me after this because I gotta learn. I don't know how to do it, but like a little. Oh,
there you go. Alrighty, thank you guys so much. You guys have a good weekend. Until next time. Bye.
Yes. Bye.